Okay, so here we are with Tommy Davies and his infamous Cannonball Jag. Car that was actually shipped from the UK, from Wales in fact, all the way to New York to compete in the 2019 C2C Express. What time did it do, Tommy?
38 hours and 11 minutes.
Which ain't bad for, what, 40-odd-year-old Jag?
Well, it's the fastest right-hand drive car to ever do it, Ben, so, you know.
That's a considerable record there, Tommy.
Everyone's got a record, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So talk to me about the Jag. Where'd you get it?
So I bought it in Edinburgh, especially for the C2C Express. Took it a drive around the castle there in Edinburgh, absolutely loved it. We changed the whole cooling system on it, changed the headliner on it, and that's it. And then we shipped it from Liverpool to New York, and then we did the C2C Express in 2019. We added some nice big rally lamps on the front.
Plus 25 horsepower for those?
Yeah, I think so, something like that. Well, it took a lot of the volts out of the system, so yeah, that didn't help, but they look good, so that's the main thing. What
he's actually talking to is the alternate exploded the second he took it to New York, and the air conditioner died as well. Yeah. The same thing.
Through a belt in Ohio, but apart from that though,
pretty trouble-free run, really.
Yeah, it was leaking a lot of coolant the whole way. We had to keep topping it up, but that's normal. So
it's a Jag. They just consume things. It's the sweat of horsepower.
And now we're down here in South Wales, back home. First time all three of us have been on Welsh soil.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're in Crumlin Colliery, aren't we? Yeah. So we thought this would be a genuinely nice aesthetic for the Jag. Crumlin Down works. You know, if you've ever seen the Sweeney and all that, obviously you know exactly. Like this is its home territory.
This is the kind of place we hang around in it, Ben, really.
Yeah, totally. just polishing our shotguns and waiting for work for the next bank job. So nice colour too. What colour is this?
This is on the logbook. It's green. So believe it or not, so sand
Harvest
green.
Gold, or is it sand green?
Sand green. I mean, I don't know if it was that colour when it was new. I don't know if it's just faded over time.
No, that kind of is the colour of it. British Leyland were famous for that. So this was one of the 1974. This is one of the infamous British Leyland Jags. So British Leyland had taken over by that point in time, and they made them really maybe reliable. Not quite as well as the original Jag factory did, but I think the Series 2 is beautiful. There's quite a few differences between that and the Series 1. The Series 1 is more purity of line. They altered the bumpers and raised them for 73, but they only did that to the front. And the front on the difference between the Series 1 and the Series 2 is that they lifted the bumpers for federal impact. If you ever see the American ones, they are ginormous, the front bumpers on them. They're just ridiculous, but they replaced them up here.
They're knee level, so they snap your knee if you get hit.
Well, they're girders as well. They're like girders, and they're rubber-coated steel. So what happens is the rust behind them and it pushes the rubber off the top of them. But the Series 2's got like a smaller grille because they lifted the grille. There's a big air scoop under here, which Jag sort of needs. Yeah, completely blocked by the lights and the number plate in full rally style. And otherwise, they're fairly similar. The Series 3 was completely different. But this is a Series 2 long wheelbase, which is completely different. The difference is the short wheelbase, which was the sort of semi-sporting one. I think it was 73 they changed to long wheelbase. You can see the extra in the back window. The original window was the same size as that, and there was no room in it.
No, I mean,
nothing.
It was a lucky coincidence, but for sleeping in the back, this was immense.
I mean, that is positively a bus compared to the Series 2 short wheelbase.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
It was absolutely ideal. 38 hours in that, you could have a good kip in the back, 3-man team, it was ideal.
This has only done sort of 54,000 or something when you bought it?
I think I bought it just over 50, and then I've put on probably 11 or 12 just in the States.
It's a nice car, man. It still drives great. Unfortunately, it's kind of got a blowing exhaust at the minute, but
start it up.
Why not?
I want to hear what it sounds like.
Sounds like an XK120 is what it sounds like the Spark car. Can't knock that, man. That sounds exactly like Le Mans in like 1954, right? Like, honestly, the XK engine's double overhead cam. I suppose we shut them under the bonnet since we're looking at it.
Yeah.
I'll show you the beautiful dashboard while Tommy's fiddling around with the front bonnet.
So we did put in just some sort of USB chargers, and then we had a V1 and then a couple of little countermeasures and things to keep our phones charged. But apart from that, it's all pretty original.
Now this is super, super rare because it's an air-conditioned Jag. And air conditioning in the early 70s in Jaguars was really, really rare. It was
so good. It was ice cold until we picked the car up in New York and it stopped working.
It was ice cold until you needed it.
Arizona was a killer. We opened the windows and we didn't know whether we should shut them again. It was that hot.
Yeah. No. So this is the famous XK engine. 1942, I think they designed this. Double overhead cam, aluminium head. I think the block is made out of like ships or RSJs or something. It weighs like a bajillion tons. Yeah. The simple fact with these is if you're ever going to buy one, the first thing you need to look at is to make sure it's got decent antifreeze in it, because if it hasn't, it's going to die. Like, they require a good quality antifreeze. The cylinder, the bolts go through the water jackets on these, don't they? I remember them just being stuck and we could never free them. Yeah, if they blow a head gasket, like pulling a head off can be a lot of work. We had to suspend one from a garage RSJ at one point in time by the head. Eventually it just dropped off. But like, they make a fabulous sound. They were 280 horsepower, I think, when they were new.
Yeah, from new, yeah.
Which is a lot, really, for a British car anyway.
We might have lost about half of that now, but it's still enough.
Might not have ever had that, to be honest, in the first place, probably. But, you know, Jaguar used to tune their own cars for testing.
I mean, we put a new updated radiator in it to make it a bit more efficient. Changed absolutely every hose we could think of, water pump. The only thing we didn't change was this radiator cap. And it's the only thing that leaked as soon as we picked it up in New York.
They all do that anyway, mostly. They do a little bit of it. So this came with, when this was new, it came with something called an AED, which is the automatic enrichment device, with instead of a choke, which this one has now fitted here. Yeah. You can see this is the manualised choke.
Absolutely love it, just little rollers on it like that. Just works.
The AED was like, its status was not working. No. Most of them were just not working. You can't replace them now anyway, so it's like, that's gone. It's just a little thing in front of the car. Nothing particularly. Twin issues, of course, and these go really well, and they're still a comfortable daily driver. I mean, you could drive this every day still.
Yeah, if it starts.
It starts. So occasionally they aren't. Well, it's been fairly reliable.
Yeah, we had a little problem getting to you, but apart from that, I mean, the hinges broke on this in Ohio. It's on the list to get done.
It's just on the list. Jags just throw the odd hissy fit. I mean, you can't use them every day. I know, like, in the old days, they used to say the quickest way to get rid of your wife was to buy her an E-Type, right? Yeah, they'd buy her an XKE and then she would just disappear onto the freeway somewhere, never to be seen again.
But, you know, it made it across the States, so that's all we can ask of it, really.
I mean, how old was it when it went across there? So it was 2019, this is 74 Jag, so you should be able to work that one out.
It was old, man.
Old?
44 years old, was it?
44 years old. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, for a car that was basically just mildly prepped and then ran, like, you can't really knock it.
Original block, just had a good service, basically.
Yeah. So what's the mileage on it now?
Well, it stopped. The clock. What's
the mileage on it? Well,
it stopped at 63,000. That's pretty close. I would say it's probably about 64,000. So I put about 15,000 on it in the States. It just knocked around here. So.
Well, the good thing is it's still a usable daily driving classic car. You take your missus and your kid out for a bit of sort of like ice cream in it. They drive so nicely. They're comfortable, wafty. I'm going to stand slightly short of saying reliable, but they're fairly reliable.
And you always feel like you're just about to rob a bank, or you have just robbed a bank. So
that's totally like Bellman and True.
Yeah.
Like, you should watch the film Bellman and True if you want to see a very similar coloured Jag. Actually, it was gold.
Put that link. The link's going to be in the description for that little scene.
That's a total lie. Well, it might be in the description. I might be able to do that because I'm not exactly the world's greatest person at setting this up. But yeah, maybe we'll put like the sort of the car chasing that in it. But these are wicked cars, man. And this, I mean, these used to be everywhere. These used to be like a 500 quid car. I used to drive them everywhere, down to festivals and everything. Criminal fuel economy.
Yeah. But 2 tanks. That's the other thing. So 2 50-litre tanks, little switch on the dash. Flip between them. It's 100 litres in total. So it's like a pre-prepped cannonball car.
I was once in NZ and I had 2 gas lines going to the 2 tanks, and I was filling it from 2 separate pumps. And this woman just looked at me like I was like the world's greatest criminal. I was like, well, somebody's got to use it all, haven't they, love? Yeah. You know? Because basically these are, I mean, even for like a car at the time, they're thirsty. And they probably 15 miles to the gallon, maybe, at a push.
But it's tax exempt, MOT exempt. That's 100 quid a year to insure. So
if you're feeling spectacular, like, I mean, Lord Snooty from London Oxfordshire, Rich, you can get the V12 version. And that is literally, it crushes petrol stations as they drive past. It's like a vampire. You just see petrol stations like fading away as you go past them. As it just, man, they're single figure mile per gallon. And the carbureted ones are even worse. And then, brilliantly, British Leyland being British Leyland Jag, they just came up with the HE edition. And the HE is high efficiency, which means it's 50% better on fuel. Which means it does 12 miles per gallon around town.
Oh, man.
Tommy was thinking about selling this, but I'm trying to convince him not to, because I still think it's a great old classic car. Just such a cool car to drive around in.
Yeah. Attached to these things, don't you?
Yeah, and it's so 70s, you know. The driving position is pretty good. There's not a huge amount of room in them. By modern car standards, this has got less space in it than a Toyota Yaris.
A bit like an opposite of a Davies.
Yeah, it's got a huge front and a back and nothing in between. Kim Kardashian.
Kim K of cars.
Yeah. So you can see there's like, it's got a tight footwell. There's a Borg-Waller 35 transmission in it, and it's just, they are packed with gear. I mean, they really are. And generally, they park with sharp, pointy things in every position where you're trying to work on them. Like these things, they will make you bleed. There is no question about that. If you're working on it, it's got clips and trim clips and hidden razor blades, I suspect.
I've got a couple of scuffs on my arm just driving it yesterday.
The cat bit him. Rob in the background trying to look, you know,
My carer.
less like Fred Winston.
Fred Winston.
Fred.
Other than the boot is just
Enough space for a
three bodies.
couple of golf clubs. It's not huge in there, you know, but yeah, there we go. And originally supplied by Coombs of Guildford. If you're still going, please feel free to send us some
new
free
one.
stuff. Please feel free to and the correct impeach Nixon sticker for the back of it.
74.
That was one that Benny did from the C2C. Oh, and of course this is, the reason this has survived is the Dinotrol rust protection.
Injected it all, didn't they?
Yep, they fully injected it with an oily substance like a fish back in the old days, and that's why that's why this one has wheel arches and petrol cap
Just
tops.
about, yeah.
Oh, we should show them the petrol cap trick.
Oh, God, yeah.
So, Series
Top
1,
tip.
Series 2, Series 3 Jag owners, top tip is,
I've done that.
keep this clean. This little hole here, you need to rod that and keep it clean as much as possible. Or see, this one has a rusty flap. What happens is the water fills up here and just flows into the tank. But Jag, actually, they got you back on that one. They've got just 2 holes where you can drain the bottom,
Yeah, so
couple of inches of water off the tank.
The rear wing instead.
Yeah, it rests the rear wing instead. But yeah, so
Tips there, Ben.
that's that one. But we should show you a clean one, show what it could look like.
Oh.
Yeah, that's one that's always been nice and clear. You can see that straight away. If you've got a rough running Jag, generally it's water in the tank. Probably.
Top tips.
That's a top tip. Go and just drain the water out of the tank. It'll feel a lot better. It'll probably go a lot better. And they, like I said, they've got a switch on the dashboard to switch in between tanks, so you can definitely know if that's a problem. And they've got 2 SUs in the back, and if you leave your Jag for a long time, it won't start. Generally, you pop up that little boot floor at the back and just give the SUs a little tap with a spanner, and
Off they go.
off they go. Right, well, I hope you enjoyed the look at it. Like and subscribe, and we'll fill you with more adventurous fun later on at some point in time.
I'm going to go for a pint.
We go for a pint. Cheers, see ya.